Are you looking to get a high protein vegan meal? Are you tired of eating dead animals and saying there's no other way? Well, let me, the bodybuilding vegan, walk you through an entire meal prep series with Say Grace, showing you how I make my Say Grace barbecue style with rice and green beans. We are gonna make Say Grace and rice, and when we do, when I think of meal prepping for the week, I'm like, all right, let's get in and let's get out. I think about that for other things too, but mostly for meal prepping. So I know the rice is gonna take longer than the Say Grace, so I'm gonna start with the rice so that it finishes about the time that I finish with the Say Grace. You want to finish at the same time. It's more fun that way. So we're gonna start with the rice cooker pot. This is a pro tip that not everyone thinks of. So what I do is I weigh out the rice cooker first. 3, 5, 7. So what I do is I take a photo of this so that I can go back and reference later how much this weighed. Then I look at my handy dandy MyFitnessPal and I look at what I want to have for one meal. So for one meal, we are going to use 70 grams of rice, 10 grams of macadamia nut oil, 75 grams of Say Grace, 5 grams of nutritional yeast, 100 grams of green beans, and some no sugar added sweet baby Ray's barbecue sauce. But so to start with the rice, 70 grams. But I'm not making one meal for one day. I'm making one meal for 4 days, kind of like a weekly meal prep. I'll maybe do this twice in a week. So we take out our calculator if we suck at math, and we do 70 times 4 on the rice. That's a whopping 280 grams. So tear out our food scale, go ahead, add the 280 grams. We're gonna be doing some jasmine rice here. And you can make this fit for you. That's why I showed you what I was doing for one meal today. You can try it for multiple meals throughout the week. So we're just gonna keep pouring. All right, so I'm gonna throw in the rice. And then what I like to do next is I actually add my macadamia nut oil to the rice. You could add this to the Say Grace, you could add it wherever you want. For whatever reason, I like adding it to the rice. So we go back to MyFitnessPal and we see 10 grams of macadamia nut oil. Now, for those of you that are playing along at home, how many days are we cooking for? 4. All right, so 40 grams of the oil, just pour it right on the rice. Maybe this is the wrong way to do it, but this is how I literally eat my meals. And this is how I like it. It does add flavor. We should mic you up so you can whisper over there. Whisper me some sweet nothings. It does. It kind of adds a buttery flavor. So that's why I really like it. Because I don't like to eat butter. I don't like to kill animals and process them and eat their excretions and secretions. With macadamia nuts, I'll milk a nut all day long. And I throw a little bit of salt on there too, because why not? All right. So now the pro tip. How much rice did I put in? 280. Now, I actually saved that on my calculator just in case you guys wanted to see. The trick for rice cookers, at least I've found this has always worked for me. So you take the amount of rice and you double it. 560. And that's what we're going to add in water. You don't have to play with, they got these little measurements and stuff on here. I just double the water. It works every time, at least every time I've tried it. So we're going to take this, add the 560 grams of water. Whatever you're doing at home, you can just double the amount of rice you did. Pour it in, pour it in, pour it in. Oh no, I went over, but guess what? The rice cooker is just gonna cook. They're based on weight or something or another. It just boils until it runs out of water and then it's done. So it's like magic, but not really. It's science because magic is maybe real. Wingardium Leviosa, I don't know. All right, so I'm gonna do 4 meals again and I want 100 grams of green beans per meal. So guys at home with your calculators, it's gonna be 400. 4 times 100. So I got one bag that's already open here. Now, if your rice cooker doesn't have a little steamer bag like this on top, then I suggest you go buy one that does. For those of you that don't want to do that, I have no doubt you could buy scissors to open these or just microwave this or put it on the stove or however you want to do it. You could mix it with your Say Grace. You got options, but this for me, it's easy. It comes out nice. I just love how these steamed green beans taste. So we're gonna take this, we're gonna run it over, drop it in, close it. Now I have a special one. Thank you, Chris Arado, for buying me this. I'm gonna put it on quick mode, hit start, and it's gonna do a little jingle.
Is that the ice cream truck sound?
I think it's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Oh, you're so right.
Yeah. I had a good childhood. That was sung to me a lot. All the way up to like 15 years old, my mom's Twinkle Twinkle. No.
Oh,
All right.
makes so much sense with you now.
We got jokes. 75 grams of the shreds of grace. Now, why is this in a bag instead of a container? Because I buy the 5-pound buckets and they come like this. Link is down below if you want to support and help me have the money to make more cooking videos like this for free for y'all. Please use my code. Check out Say Grace. I absolutely love them. This would have been the best thing ever. If I had known about this in my last prep, I would have totally used it every single darn day. So we're going to take the 75 grams, multiply that by 4. 75 times 4 is 300. Throw it in there. It's going to take forever, but this is how we're going to do it. I just grab it by the handful. It looks like a handful is about 50 grams. So about 6 handfuls. All right, so 300 grams of the Say Grace is in the pot. I forgot to weigh the pot. All right, there is a way around this. So we know the pot with the Say Grace is 300 grams. If you guys are smart, you'll just weigh the pot first. So the pot and the Say Grace is 300 grams. Actually, I think I can just do this. Yes, you can just do that because the pot on there was zeroed out. So it's 1218 for the pot. So we're going to take a photo of that so we don't forget. Pot 1218. So now it'll make all the sense in the world. You guys just got to keep watching. I'll explain it at the end. I'm going to take the pot over here, put it on the burner, turn it on, and then walk away. No, not really. We're going to add some water because otherwise this would just burn. Add some water. At this point, I do like to season it. I'll throw some salt in there. This is just how I do it, guys. I know you can take this and like press it with some paper and like, I was about to say toilet paper, with paper towels to get all the water out of it, but I just do it this way. All right, so add some of this, the umami seasoning. I really like this. I get it on Amazon. Maybe some onion, some garlic, however you want to season your Say Grace. It's kind of like tofu. It's kind of honestly a whole lot like meat. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I don't know anybody that's just eating chicken breast without flavoring it with something else. I mean, you got to flavor your dead animals pretty well if you're going to eat them, but this is not dead animals. This is Say Grace. It's based out of soy, high in protein, very low in carbs, very low in fat, very chewy, takes a while to eat, so it's very, very good if you're in a cutting phase. Now, if I can find some, I'm kind of weird like this. I also like to add soy sauce and apple cider vinegar. Now this is apple cider vinegar in a different container with a sticky note because that's how we do it at my house. But I buy this stuff like in the gallon. So I'm gonna put that in there. I'm gonna put this in there. Gonna add a little bit more water, get it boiling, and then let this simmer for 20 or 30 minutes while the rice is cooking. It's got 37 minutes left, and then it's gonna be time to plate it and eat it. All right. You're still recording?
Yeah.
As I grunt at the camera. I'm gonna pour that in. Maybe stir it up a little bit. Seriously, this stuff is so easy, guys. You can flavor it literally any way you want. I'm probably gonna throw a little bit of barbecue sauce in here later, and then we're gonna put it all in plates and we'll be ready to eat. Pardon the interruption. Thank you so much for being a subscriber and for following along on my journey. I could not do this without you. And if you want to go the extra mile, if you could send this to just one friend, or the next time you need to stock up, get some protein or something like that, make sure to use the link tree and use one of my codes. It really helps me be able to fund this channel and keep these videos coming. And if you'd like to work with me one-on-one through my coaching program, the link to apply is also down below. I'd love to get to know more about you, about your goals, and how I can help you on your journey. Okay, let's get back to the content. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now pretty much boiling, as maybe the crazy amount of steam here would indicate. So I just kind of continue to stir this, and my goal, I'm actually going to add a little bit more water. My goal here will be to have this finish cooking as it has run out of water. That way I don't have to strain it. I don't have to separate it out. It'll just be ready to go. Cut myself digging in a can of cherries yesterday. That's what happens when you're hungry and eating things you shouldn't be. All right, so we're going to add the nutritional yeast. It's going to add a nice cheesy flavor. 5 grams per meal. So 5 times 4 is 20, y'all. Y'all didn't know you were going to learn math with me. I throw that in on here, and then I'll probably add a little bit more water. Then I'll turn the heat down, and I'll just let this kind of simmer until it's time to go. And I put 30 grams instead of 20 because I did the guess and check method, and I did not guess and check enough. But you know what? A little extra protein never hurt nobody. So I'm going to turn this down a little bit, stir it, and meet y'all back here probably about 20, 25 minutes. And it wouldn't be mine if I didn't have some of the sweet baby rays. I was going to say sugar-free, but no sugar added. There is a little bit of sugar in here, but that's because it uses tomato paste, which already has sugar. So I'm going to take this, just pour a little bit on top. As you can see, it's been simmering here for quite some time. It's nice and hydrated, but also I did try a piece. It's getting cooked down. So I add a little bit on the food itself, like for the individual meal, but I pour some in there just to go ahead and add some of the spice. And we literally just finished with the rice and green beans. It literally just dinged, so that should be done. We'll see if my 2 times the water on the rice cooker worked or not. Bing, bing, bing. All right, I've got out my 4 containers here. I'm going to take the green beans, set them off to the side for right now. We are going to weigh the entire container. It's going to have the rice and the oil that we added. Ow, it's hot. And the container itself. So it's telling me this is 1243. I'm going to go back into my camera roll, avoid any naked photos, and remember that this weighs 357 grams. I'm going to do the math. 1243 minus 357. So the weight of everything minus the weight of the bowl. It means there's 886 grams of rice in this whole thing. Now, if you're not in prep, you could just measure it out based on eyeballing. But if you want to be anal, like me, you can take that, divide it by your 4 meals, and you know you need about 221.5 grams. Round that up to 222. The numbers are still numbering, and that's how much of rice we're going to need in each bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll meet you at the green beans. All right, so now we're going to do the green beans. I'm just going to tear this out. So it says 0. I'm going to dump them in here. Woot, woot, woot. And actually, this is going to be really easy. It's right at about 400 grams. I guess all the water that cooked out of the green beans got cooked back into them. So we just need about 100 grams of green beans per container. All right, so now we're going to take this bad boy, bring him on over here, tear it out, weigh, stir him up a little bit. Make sure all the juices are mixed nice and easy, evenly. Now, what I'm seeing on the scale, I'm seeing 28.57. I'm going to go back into my camera roll and know that this whole pot weighs 12.18. So 28.57 minus the 12.18 for the pot tells me what's left in here. There's 16.39. Divide that by 4, you get 409 grams per container, and it'll be perfectly even. If you're on prep and you got a show coming up, this is how I'd match my things out. If you're not on prep, it's not that big of a deal. You can eyeball it. Just showing you guys a couple different ways that you can do it here. So, trying to make this look somewhat pretty, but that's going to be a little hard to do because this is a lot of the shreds of grace. So why are we doing the shreds of grace? Well, I absolutely love Say Grace as a whole. The shreds is probably my favorite out of all the options. And the reason we're doing this, it's high protein, it's relatively cost affordable, even a little bit cheaper when you use code BODYBUILDINGVEGAN. And I've found that this keeps me full. It takes me a little while to eat my food, so I actually slow down and chew. Next to no ingredients. It's soy protein isolate. That's what this is made out of. It's almost like what you would get from a really high quality vegan protein powder, but just in the form of, I mean, look at this. It looks, correct me if I'm wrong, but something kind of like pulled pork. I don't really want to eat pulled pork, but if you're trying to like blend in or match with other people, not exactly my style, but if that's you, you do you. Very, very high in protein, very low in carbs, almost non-existent in fat. So this really fits just about any diet out there. So whether you eat meat or not, based on the cost, this would lower your grocery bills. I truly don't see a reason not to use it. That's why I use it, and you should too. All right, guys, so this is how I run through my weekly meal prep. Sometimes I'll do 5 meals, sometimes I'll do 4, but really, you just take it in your MyFitnessPal app or whatever app you use, multiply it out by the number of meals you want, then use my little dividing trick. It couldn't get easier than that. If this video has been helpful to you, please send it to somebody else that needs some Say Grace in their life, and make sure to use code BODYBUILDINGVEGAN. Helps me out a lot. Anyways, all right, guys, I'm going to go sit down and eat one of these, add a little bit more of my sweet baby rays. I'll see y'all in the next video. And don't forget to send this to Alex's Goats. BodybuildingVegan out.